Breaking news from the nest. The atmosphere behind the scenes at the Philadelphia Eagles is absolutely electric, and trust me, you're going to want to hear every bit of what's unfolding. The mission is crystal clear: a return to the Super Bowl. And make no mistake, the path won't be easy. For head coach Nick Sirianni to guide this team back to the top of the mountain, he's going to need a battle-ready, elite roster firing on all cylinders. From locker room shifts to roster moves that could shake the NFC to its core, I've got major updates coming your way that no true Birds fan should miss. But before we dive in, hit that like button if you've ever felt the fire of an Eagles playoff run deep in your soul. Whether you've been flying with the Birds for 2 years or 20 plus, your passion is what fuels this team's legacy. And if your blood runs green and white, let me hear it loud in the comments. Go Eagles! Let's jump right in. For decades, the Philadelphia Eagles have had a storied, complicated relationship with the wide receiver position. Sure, we've seen flashes of greatness, from Tommy McDonald in the 50s and 60s to Harold Carmichael in the 70s, then Mike Quick dominating in the 80s, but it hasn't been a consistent legacy. After the Buddy Ryan era, when the team's identity was heavily defensive, the franchise experienced a stretch of wide receiver mediocrity that simply didn't match the expectations of a championship-caliber team. That void persisted well into the Donovan McNabb era. Despite making it to 5 NFC championship games with Andy Reid, the Eagles just couldn't lock in that long-term, elite wide receiver to support their franchise quarterback. Yes, Terrell Owens was phenomenal, but let's be real, he was only here for one full season. After him, names like James Thrash, Todd Pinkston, and Kevin Curtis filled the top receiver role, and while they had their moments, none were true WR1 material. Things started to look up with Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin. Their duo brought speed, excitement, and a dynamic presence on the field. But just as quickly as they rose, it all came crashing down. With Michael Vick under center, LeSean McCoy in the backfield, and D-Jax and Maclin out wide, it felt like we were on the cusp of something great, until Chip Kelly came into the picture. We all remember that chaotic era. Chip not only dismantled the roster but even forced Howie Roseman out of the general manager's office. And with that, any continuity or progress at the wide receiver position was derailed. Then came what can only be described as a drought. In 2015, Jordan Matthews led the team in receiving. Then, from 2016 through 2019, it wasn't even a wide receiver who topped the stat sheets. It was tight end Zach Ertz. And while Ertz is without question one of the best tight ends in franchise history, leading the team in receiving for 4 straight years is a sign of a much bigger problem. The wide receiver position had become a black hole. To make matters worse, 2020 saw Travis Fulgham, yes, the same Fulgham who had a hot stretch for just a few games, leading the team in receiving yards. That period was a low point. The Eagles, one of the most iconic franchises in NFL history, were in desperate need of a shift in philosophy when it came to evaluating and investing in wide receivers. Then came the Jalen Reagor pick in 2020. A first-round selection out of TCU, Reagor was taken 1 pick before Justin Jefferson. That moment will forever be etched in Eagles draft infamy. But here's the silver lining. It was the wake-up call Howie Roseman needed. That miss forced a change, a full reset in his draft strategy. No more trying to be the smartest guy in the room. No more hunting for diamonds in the rough from small schools. Howie made a critical decision. Stick to the elite programs, take the best players from the biggest stages, and don't overthink it. That decision led directly to the selection of DeVonta Smith in 2021. A Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, and arguably one of the most polished wide receiver prospects to ever come out of Alabama. Smith came in and made an immediate impact, breaking the Eagles' rookie record for receiving yards. But Howie wasn't done. Knowing the value of a dominant receiving core in today's NFL, he made a blockbuster move on draft night 2022. In a trade that would go down as one of the savviest in recent NFL memory, he landed A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans. Since joining the Eagles, Brown has been nothing short of elite, an all-pro in every single season in Philly. And alongside Smith, the two have formed the most dangerous wide receiver tandem this franchise has ever seen. Let's talk numbers. DeVonta Smith has already gone over 1,000 yards in 2 of his first 3 seasons. In a run-heavy offense, that is not just impressive, it's elite. And A.J. Brown? He's averaged nearly 1,500 yards per season since putting on Midnight Green, with double-digit touchdowns and highlight reel plays that make you shake your head in disbelief. He's gone from a very good player in Tennessee to arguably a top 3 wide receiver in the entire league. This transformation, this complete rebuild of the wide receiver position, has not only given given Jalen Hurts the weapons he needs to thrive, but it's also positioned the Eagles to be perennial contenders in the NFC. Howie Roseman, after years of criticism, has finally delivered the solution to what was once Philadelphia's most glaring weakness. And that's why we now sit here, watching one of the most explosive offenses in the league, led by two receivers who are in the prime of their careers, with no signs of slowing down. So here's the question, and I really want to hear your thoughts on this. With the dominance we've seen, the production, the chemistry, and the clutch moments, do you believe that A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith are not only the best duo in Eagles history, but the best wide receiver duo in the entire NFL today? Let me know in the comments. I'll be back shortly with the second part of this deep dive, because when you really break it down, it's not just about stats on a page. It's about how these two elevate the entire offense and, quite frankly, change the way defenses have to prepare for the Eagles every single week. That's what makes this duo so unique. Defensive coordinators are kept up at night, not knowing whether to bracket A.J. Brown and risk leaving DeVonta Smith in single coverage or vice versa. And when you combine that with the mobility and decision-making of Jalen Hurts, it becomes nearly impossible to game plan against. Think about the impact A.J. Brown had from day one. In his first season with the Eagles, he set a franchise record for receiving yards in a single season with 1,496. That shattered the previous record. Then he followed it up with another massive campaign in 2023 with over 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns. This is a level of consistency that Philadelphia hasn't seen since Terrell Owens, and even T.O. only played one full season in Midnight Green. A.J. Brown has already surpassed that and is doing it on a sustained, high-level basis. And let's not forget the impact these two have off the field. Leadership, accountability, and culture matter in the NFL. A.J. Brown has stepped up as a vocal leader in the locker room. He's not afraid to hold his teammates and himself accountable. He pushes DeVonta Smith. He pushes Hurts. And he sets a tone that says, we're here to dominate, not just participate. That kind of mindset trickles down through the entire offense. DeVonta Smith, on the other hand, is the quiet assassin. Smooth route runner. Elite hands. Unshakable focus. He's not the loudest guy in the room, but he's often the most precise and reliable. His routes are surgical, his separation is textbook, and he has a knack for making crucial plays when it matters most. Whether it's third and long, red zone, or late in the fourth quarter, Smith shows up every time. This level of production and chemistry also opens up opportunities for the rest of the offense. Dallas Goedert benefits. The running backs benefit. Even the offensive line has an easier job because of how much opposing defenses have to respect the pass. The field stretches, the box lightens, and everything becomes more manageable. It's no coincidence that the Eagles have had one of the most balanced and dangerous offenses in the league the past few years. And let's take a moment to give credit where it's due. Howie Roseman has absolutely earned it. After years of swinging and missing at the wide receiver position, he found a blueprint that works. Draft elite players from elite programs. Take known commodities when the opportunity arises. Don't overthink it. The DeVonta Smith draft pick was not just a hit, it was a turning point. The A.J. Brown trade was not just a win, it was a heist. What's even more exciting is that these two stars are still just entering the prime of their careers. Smith is 25. Brown is 27. They're not even close to their ceiling yet. We could be looking